into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Kylie Hodges, and you are watching the brand new after show for the Netflix series created by Tina Fey and Robert Carlock called The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I'm your host, Kylie Hodges. I think I already said that. I'm just really excited to be here. Who are my beautiful co-hosts sitting to my left?
I am guest hosting tonight, and my name is Danica Kennedy.
And hey y'all, my name is Hannah Prichard, and you can tweet at me at the Hotshot Dude.
Welcome, Hannah and Danica. And if you guys haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also find us on iTunes, SoundCloud. You can chat in the chat roll on YouTube if you want to talk smack about us or agree with us. Whatever you have to say, chat in the chat roll. The minute I heard that Tina Fey was coming out with a Netflix show, I think I peed my pants a little bit. How about you girls?
Well, especially with Ellie Kemper. I love Ellie Kemper, and I'm stoked to see her have her own show as the lead. I think she's hilarious in everything that she does.
How about you, Danica?
I love Jane, what's her name? Jane Krakowski.
Yeah.
Her last name always messes me up. But when I heard about Jane Krakowski and Tina Fey, I was like, yes, this is going to fill my 30 Rock void that has been needed to be filled. And there's not that many great comedies right now, and I have hope for this one. I really like it.
Absolutely. I was just thinking a few months ago, like, where's Tina been? Just besides hosting award shows with Amy, what has she been up to? When's she going to give something new? And like you said, I was waiting for someone to fill that 30 Rock void.
Which I never watched 30 Rock. So
really?
This is like I've never watched, I guess, a Tina Fey show, only obviously like movies and stuff like that. I'm a fan of hers. I just like never got into 30 Rock, and it was too late once I wanted to be into it. So stoked to watch this one from the beginning to the end.
That's really interesting because I feel like this show's audience, the automatic guaranteed audience was 30 Rock fans.
Well, yeah. And it seems like everybody in the cast is straight from 30 Rock or appeared on it.
Yeah.
So now I feel really behind.
Well, would you consider watching 30 Rock now that you've seen the show?
Absolutely.
Okay.
30 Rock is awesome. It's one of my favorite comedy shows ever.
I totally agree with you. And there's so many 30 Rock isms that I feel carry over into the show that I'm like totally okay with. Like
the music,
the trumpety kind of music, you know, the fact that New York is kind of its own character. The really solid one-liners are so Tina Fey.
You can hear her voice through the whole thing.
Yeah, and in fact, all of my notes that I thought were good notes are actually just really great one-liners that I loved. But now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, I don't know what that means. I just thought it was great. I wrote it down. But yeah, I'm so happy that Tina Fey is back and producing a show. It'd be cool to see her on the show. Maybe she'll make like a cameo or something.
I would love that. I hope she writes herself in.
Oh, that'd be
does
amazing.
a little drop in here and there. But she's such a talented writer. She's so quick-witted, and I don't think any other writer in comedy right now is as quick as she is.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the times the person will be funny and the filming's great, but the writing isn't always strong. And I don't know if you guys are watching Saturday Night Live right now. I love Saturday Night Live. I've been watching it since Tina and Amy were on it, and I feel like it's the talent's there, and like Chris Hemsworth this week was great, but it's like the writing is so important, and they need Tina back, in my opinion, for that show.
Well, SNL is a whole nother can of worms, but I can agree with you. Tina's a one of a kind, and I'm obsessed with her book Bossy Pants. I've read it too many times. I should just read another book. But yeah, I'm a big Tina Fey fan. So I say let's recap the show, huh?
Absolutely.
The first episode, I don't even know if I said it, guys. This intro was real sloppy. It's called Kimmy Goes Outside. So I think that can let everybody know. If you haven't watched the episode, why are you watching this after show? But I think that gives away what the first episode was about. Kimmy makes it outside. She was in a cult in Durnsville, Indiana for 15 years with 4 other women. I don't know how they didn't hate each other more. Right? Like, I feel like they actually got along fairly well.
It looked like a small space, too, probably about the size of this room. So
it could have been maybe like two Cindy's by a Gretchen.
Yep.
Call back.
Got it. Good job.
Danica's like, wait.
I'm like, that went over my head.
When her new room in New York, she was like, oh my God, this is two Cindy's by a Gretchen. See, that was a note I took. That's probably the only reason why.
Good job.
I remembered that.
It paid off.
Callback. I'm making a callback.
I thought it was strange that they came out kind of like Amish women. Like they were in these gowns,
So
these like
true.
weird dresses, and I'm like, you've been in there since 8th grade. One of the girls has braces on still, and she's an adult, and they come out in these like Amish fitted outfits, and I was like, wait, were they like in a time machine or something? Nope. And I love how when they went on the TV show, they're like, we don't really like that name, Mole Women, because they're known as the Mole Women,
Right.
which is
Matt
understandable.
Lauer just cuts her off.
Yep.
I love that he was in it too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. I feel like Tina's really good at always poking fun at the people she works for without going too far as to making that stop. Because she was ripping on NBC all the time on 30 Rock, and then Today Show is on NBC, so that guy that ushered them out of the Today Show was like, thank you, survivors.
So
Thank
funny.
you, survivors.
Because you know that's probably how it really is. Like, great, so happy we had you. Okay, bye.
Yeah, the
Bye.
fakest niceness.
Take your gift bag.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Don't forget your new gift bag on the way to Durnsville. But I was surprised by the beginning of the episode how quickly they went from they're in a cult and they're out. Like, I
Yeah.
kind of thought that the first episode was going to be... When I heard that the concept of the show was Ellie Kemper's in a cult and now she's experiencing life for the first time outside of it, I thought it was going to be like, oh, a whole episode in the cult, get to know it. But it seems like we're going to get to know the cult throughout the series as there are flashbacks.
Right, and it seemed like she was never even necessarily a believer in the cult. She was just stuck under there.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they did the flashbacks and she was listening to his sermons and she was doubting everything. So I don't even know, unless they keep the other characters around, which I imagine they will. I wanted to watch all of them and I didn't. But I imagine if they keep them all around, then we'll learn about the cult more so through them rather than Ellie Kemper as much.
What did you think of the intro, Danica?
It's really obnoxiously catchy. That song is stuck in my head for life. And I have to confess, I tried not to binge watch, but it happened. So, I'm going to do my best to stay on point with this first episode. But I couldn't help it. When it's on Netflix, it's just so easy to get on a roll. And
Totally.
I'm sure you guys watching at home can feel the same. I'm sure if you have snuck ahead.
And Hannah and I only watched the pilot, but I have a feeling if you're watching this after show, you've probably already watched more than we have.
Or the whole thing. Maybe
Yeah.
even twice.
And I don't blame you. A half-hour comedy is so easy to breeze through. And
Yes.
it's kind of nice, It's like if you just need a little quick fix of something to watch, like that's perfect
Right.
for it. But it's also super easy to binge watch.
Yeah.
I chose not to continue watching because I knew I would get confused here right now if
Right.
I didn't.
I had to
but
go
I
back
really
and
wish
take
I
notes,
could have.
like, don't talk about this yet.
Yeah.
Right? I wanted to so bad, especially with it just being like a half hour, well, actually like 25 minutes because it doesn't have the commercial stuff. And it's just so funny. It's easy to watch. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. I'm jealous of all of you.
You guys didn't know, this is the Super Fan Network, so we're really big fans of the show.
True statement.
Another thing that cracked me up about the show was I didn't realize the intro was the intro until it was done, when it was this auto-tuned neighbor talking about a crazy white guy and his cult. And what do you say? Women are strong as hell. That's what he says over and over and over. So when I first heard that, I was like, that sounds familiar. And then I remembered, like, maybe 3 years ago, there was something on the internet called the Bedroom Intruder. And it was this guy who was interviewed on a local news station about, like, a rapist. And he was just very animated about it. And someone else took that footage and auto-tuned it and remixed it to make it a music video. And it ended up going viral. And then I just watched it back, and it's like, it's so similar to this intro. So I love that Tina is tipping her hat to viral videos from 4 years ago.
You saw that one, and I saw the sweet brown one.
Yep.
That ain't nobody got time for that. I completely forgot about the one that you had thought of a different one. And I was like immediately went back and started watching that video. It was cracking me up, and I love that she did that too. I didn't realize it was the intro either until the second time I went back to watch the episode, and then I was like, oh. We actually never had an intro on the show. This must
like that's
be The intro.
Yeah, I mean, since I snuck ahead, I know, but they really seamlessly like put that in the pilot where it was part of the story explaining how she got out and went straight into the episode leading into New York. And then when I saw the other episodes, I was like, wow, that was the intro. I didn't even realize that, but that song's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of my life.
It's going through my head right now. I'm trying really hard to not forget. I don't even know the words. What are the next words after Unbreakable?
I don't even know.
I've watched the pilot like 4 times in a row, and I cannot tell you any word except Unbreakable.
But that's what makes her brilliant, because she used something that got in everybody else's head through these old mixed, remixed news feeds and did that as her theme. So now it's automatically going to be in everyone's head. It's catchy, it's funny, and she's brilliant.
I just love making fun of viral videos. I love it. The internet is laughing at itself. It's good to know. So the sisters are released from the cult, and then they're on the Today Show. And we get to know the sisters a little bit. Do we call them sisters? They refer to each other as sisters, right?
I believe so.
No?
The mole woman cult.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think of what
what
Kimmy refers to them as, just her fellow prisoners.
I think sisters. I think sisters is right.
I think so. So there's Cindy. She has braces. She's a grown woman. Her teeth look great, so I think it's time for the braces to come off. There's Kimmy, played by Ellie Kemper. There's Gretchen. She's not exactly the smartest one.
Yep.
And she actually willingly joined the cult.
A little too gullible.
Yeah.
And then tried to marry Matt Lauer quickly after.
Yeah, she wasn't the smartest. It seems like she's been a little too brainwashed by this cult thing because she just thought she was assigned to Matt Lauer.
And then the maid.
Yeah, Donna Maria. And she used to work for Happy Maids. See Happy Maids. That's her only response. I love it. And then they're on the Today Show and Gretchen gets an ambush makeover.
Which made her just look like a little tramp afterwards. When she was done, I was like, what kind of makeover is this? She had on like a smock beforehand, and now she's got this like short red dress and this haircut.
Yeah, she definitely looked like a hooker. Like she was wearing a wig to like conceal her real identity.
But she loved it. Like, did you see her expressions as she was coming out? Like, oh, I look good.
I mean, if I was trapped underground for 15 years and they put that on me, I'd be happy too.
Yeah, it's like, please give me a makeover. I look like I'm from the 1800s in this outfit. Help.
They did in their dresses in the cult. They look like they're like in the Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
They did.
But I feel like when we watch real news stories about people from cults getting broken out, I feel like that's what I'm seeing the women looking like. Am I wrong?
Yes. No, you're not wrong. Yes,
I can't pinpoint
you are
on
correct.
an exact cult case because there's a handful that have happened in this world. But why are all these culty girls wearing these weird Little House on the Prairie dresses? Laura Ingalls didn't start a cult.
Maybe because
So weird.
they're all run by men who can't sew,
Yeah.
so he ends up putting potato sacks on them and calling it a day.
And it just doesn't
here,
make
take this.
sense, the story. It's like creepy guy with a van lures these young children in that are in like 8th grade to join this cult, and you think it's going to be like some creepy thing. And then he has them dressed like that. It's like, I thought he'd be a little pervier or something. Maybe he's a prude creep.
And another kicker, to go back to the very beginning of the episode, they're celebrating Christmas. So why did he lie to them about what... I guess maybe he had to lie to them about what day it was in order for them to believe the apocalypse happened, like to make them think they were in like a month or two ahead. I guess I don't know the deets on the actual kidnapping. We haven't seen that yet. Hopefully we'll see that in flashbacks.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they just kind of take it full on New York and do kind of like... I feel like everyone loves the adult that acts like a child, like New Girl and Elf, and like New Girl, Elf, and 30 Rock. If those shows like had a baby, it would be this show, I feel like.
You're right. That's actually exactly why I love Ellie Kemper, because I feel like she is lovable. She's kind of like a little kid, but she's still like a grown woman. She can like revert to that adultness when she needs to.
So it's either going to be like the adult that's like a child adventuring the crazy New York City jungle, or it's going to be flashing back all the time to the cult, which I think would be interesting because I'm like, what the hell was going on in there?
Right.
Yes. I do want to understand that Christmas thing, too. I actually didn't even think about it or try to figure out why they were doing that. I wonder if it's like a ritual thing that they do.
I don't
Maybe
know.
that it's
Their
not
Christmas
even like a
songs
holiday.
were weird. It was like Apocalypse, apocalypse. We caused it with our dumbness.
I don't know.
That's going to be my new Christmas song. This
Right?
coming holiday season, I will sing that around
We'll go
the tree.
caroling.
Yeah, perfect. People will call 911 on us if we sing that. So after the Today Show, they're back in their shuttle and they're going to the airport and they're headed to Durnsville, but Kimmy is having second thoughts. She doesn't think she can go back to Indiana, which it's funny to me how those women are just like, oh, I guess I'll just go back to Durnsville where I was kidnapped. It's perfectly fine to go back there, right?
Listen, I don't think they have any awareness of how to socialize in the world, so
I know.
sure, just take them back.
These poor girls.
To their parents? I don't know.
I don't know how that works either.
I know if I got that huge wad of cash, I'd be in Hawaii or California, not, where is it, Indiana?
Yeah, not in Durnsville, Indiana. Certainly not there. I would be, I would actually probably be blowing it, like, on Amazon and
You'd be in New
clothes.
York buying candy,
Yeah.
like Kimmy,
I would be Kimmy.
skipping around.
Absolutely.
So Kimmy jumps out of the shuttle. She's like, I gotta stay here. Cindy is like, all right, A, I was your Secret Santa. Take your present. And B, here's your mole fund money, which, holy crap, we don't learn until later, but they got a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
She had,
right?
what, $13,000?
Yes. And I kept wondering, shouldn't there be somebody, like, kind of, like, taking care of them when they first get all of this money and be like, okay, you need to open a bank account. Like, this is what we do. I'm going to walk you through this, get you in contact with family members. Nope.
Not in Tina Fey's world.
Nope.
There's no responsibility in this land. And then she goes on a shopping montage like we talked about. She eats a ton of candy. She's like a little kid. I loved her shoes. They're like those light up Skechers.
I legit want some of those. I
Yeah.
have looked for light up shoes for, I'm not kidding, like the past 5 years, and I've decided that I just have to go buy kid ones in like a size 5.
Yeah, why don't they have them for adults? They should.
I don't know. But clearly they do.
Skechers.
Those had to be adult ones, right?
I don't know, but if there's someone who works for Skechers that is watching, you have 3 potential customers.
Yes.
If you distribute that product.
I want them.
Size 8 for women
so
over
bad.
here.
I was so
Velcro.
jealous. And when she was like running down the
Yeah.
street with that man and they were just lighting up, I was like, that is my dream. That is my dream.
She
I want
looked
those
like
shoes.
she was dressed like how I imagine I was dressed in kindergarten. You know, hot pink pants,
Right?
neon
The
yellow
like
cardigan.
stack of little bracelets that she made. I'm like, when did she have time to make those
Yeah.
bracelets? She making those in that van.
I loved
light up
when she was
shoes.
trying to use the automatic sink and the paper towel dispenser, and she was like, ah! Like, just like
Yeah.
way too excited about it.
Threw her head back, like a level 10 of happiness. Oh, it cracked me up.
Even on the subway. You know, who would have thought that the subway could be so fun? Whee!
And you never really see people that happy on the subway
No,
in New York.
never.
I can tell you that.
So then she realizes she needs to find somewhere to live. She finds an apartment ad in a magazine. And she meets Lillian, played by Carol Kane, the
Yes.
little
Awesome.
old hilarious landlord who's just chilling on her stoop. And she has a tenant named Titus who just isn't paying his rent. So she meets Titus, and he is not having it. But then Kimmy doesn't have a job either, so it's like, why are you here? So she tries to get a job with the mother of the little boy who she caught stealing candy, which, what a good citizen.
To chase a child home.
Yeah,
is a little
stranger danger.
creepy.
Yeah, stranger danger
is
ranger.
right.
Come on.
Totally
now.
creepy. I guess she didn't learn what creepy was when she was underground. Everything was probably creepy, so she had no idea what was and wasn't.
So funny.
I loved that interaction when Kimmy is talking to Jane Krakowski's character named Jacqueline is her name. And she's like, Buckley, get in here. You know I can't go outside. And then Kimmy notices the portrait behind her and says, is that your reverend? And she's like, did he peel your face? Like, she's suddenly a spokesperson to help women who are in cults. She's like,
Right.
do you need help? I'll help you. Jacqueline's crying, I do need help.
Yes.
Yeah, Jane Krakowski, like, she knocks that character out of the park, just like we said in 30 Rock. She was kind of, her character, Jenna was kind of like that. Very not on our normal humans plane. She's definitely, like, her head is in the clouds.
She was actually my favorite character on 30 Rock. I would crack up when she came on. She's just this really obnoxious, dramatic actress that
Very
thinks
full of
she's
herself.
so cool and, so full of herself. And this character, she has the older husband. She's obviously a gold digger, super shallow once again, and she's so
Yeah.
good at that character.
Yeah.
She's
But
funny.
when they first meet, immediately she was like asking about that paperwork about like the disclosure agreement
Oh,
or
the
something like
NDA,
that,
yeah.
the NDA. And I thought that was really funny because it's like, okay, she wants her not to tell anything because she wants her husband to die and to take all his money, or because she's such a horrible mom. Either way.
That's true.
I like that
She
joke,
does
though.
want that boy's birthday cake to be paleo.
I know.
And then
Yeah,
tells
that
him,
was so funny.
this isn't your worst birthday. Your worst birthday was when you kicked me in the genitals. God.
So sad.
Oh, I love Jane Krakowski. She's so spot on with being that egotistical, like, oblivious person.
With her diet water, she like takes it out of the fridge and throws it in the trash. It's like, what are you doing?
And she doesn't like overly play her comedy, I feel like. I feel like she just naturally lets it happen, just kind of like delivers her line and plays
And
the
she's
character.
spot on.
Yeah, she really is, rather than trying to like push everything. She's hilarious.
So once Kimmy's got a job, she's on top of the world, goes back to get that apartment, and Lillian's like, all right, you can room with Titus. And he shows her a closet that turns out to be her bedroom, and, you know, if I saw that, I would cry. But she was like, oh my God, it's so big. It's like 2 Cindy's by a Gretchen. And that's when she's about to reveal to Titus that she was one of the mole women. But first she says, the truth is I'm from Indiana. And then he stops her. He's like, oh, that explains
everything.
why you're basic.
I love that.
I feel like when I first moved to LA, I had a moment like that where I was talking to a guy at the grocery store, and I had been in LA for 4 months, and he saw my license, my driver's license said I was from Wisconsin. He goes, how long have you been here? And I was like, oh, a while. Like 4 months. And he was like, oh.
Fresh off the boat.
He literally, and then I was like so excited talking to him, I dropped my bottle of wine and it shattered on the floor and had like wine all over my foot. Yeah, and he was like, okay, let's take a step back here.
Calm down.
It was poor little Kylie, lost in Los Angeles,
That's so
dropping
funny.
wine on her foot. But Titus, oh my God, what a character.
I love him.
So funny.
Very over the top and
Yes.
hilarious.
And he's really talented. He's a musical theater performer. I think he sang in The Little Mermaid on Broadway. And
Really?
Yeah, he's
That would
really
make sense.
talented.
Oh, that's
And his
awesome.
name in real life is Titus.
Yes.
Titus Burgess is his real name. Titus Andromedon or Ronald Wilkerson.
I was going to
is
say,
his
what was his original?
character's name?
Ronald Wilkinson.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell by his speaking voice that, like, boy can sing.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I'm jumping ahead a bit, but when Kimmy tells him that she lost all the money in her backpack and it was 13 grand, and he sings the Jennifer Hudson, no way. I was like, woo! Okay, give me more of that.
They
love
even
that.
like ended the episode where they're singing Lion King in front of, you know, all the Broadway marquees in the middle of Times Square. And so I'm excited they're incorporating a little musical theater
Right?
attributes
And her
here
like
there.
pulling the Macarena thing, and I'm like, good job, because nobody knows the words ever. Like,
Wait, when did she do the Macarena? At the club?
she was saying that while they were singing the Lion King song, because she didn't know the words. She was like, Hina Macarena.
That's what she was saying. Oh, that is
killing
good.
me.
That is some solid
I mean, I
gold.
sure don't know the words either. I'd probably
Right
kind
to that
of
or the
mutter
Macarena,
around it.
so just throw them together as one. Who knows?
Yeah, that was so. Oh, I love this show. I realize I skipped ahead, but there's the scene where after they become roommates, Titus and Kimmy go to the club, and it's Kimmy's first time drinking and clubbing.
Well, and her dance
alcohol
moves were
is-
great.
Yeah, she was. It's all about the butt.
Next time I go to
Absolutely.
the club, I want some light up shoes like that.
I'm gonna wear that
get
outfit,
down.
and I'm gonna take a backpack and put it around my ankle. And I'm gonna chug alcohol because
Don't-
it's so good.
Don't you guys remember doing that though? I used to actually put my backpack around my ankle.
No, why would you
Yeah,
put your backpack
or my
on your
purse.
ankle?
If I ever put it down and I was in a crowded place, I swear I'd put it around my ankle.
I feel like that's a good way to A, someone would trip over it and hurt themselves, or B, let it
Absolutely.
get stolen, like what happens to Kimmy.
Yeah.
Why did you put it around your ankle?
I thought it was
That's
so
so
holding
weird.
on to it, then nobody else could touch it, but it was still on the floor, and I could like move my upper body.
I just feel like
Freely.
school floors are so dirty, and then you get this dirt on your back.
I don't care. I will sit on
boy.
any floor.
Well, a girl that crazy needs a fanny pack, I think. She's
She
gonna
does.
lose even a purse, even if
I'm
it's on her
surprised she
shoulder.
didn't have a fanny pack. That would have been even more suitable for her.
And she doesn't even understand the value of that money. Because if you
No.
get, you know, thrown into some cult 7th or 8th grade, I sure didn't know,
Yeah.
you know, the value of money and rent and everything then, especially in New York, everything's so expensive. So she just, you know, loses it.
Or the common sense to not
handing it
keep
out.
$13,000 on your person.
Yeah.
Right.
Not the wisest.
Quite a bit.
Maybe invest in a lockbox immediately after getting an apartment. I love that within no time she's a knockout at the bars and a guy's trying to kiss her too.
Oh, yes.
I want to see potential love interests.
Well, yes.
Titus.
Well, I've like...
I don't
No,
think we're
he's not
gonna go
into
there.
her.
But I have like tried to. Obviously haven't seen all the episodes, but did look up the cast list, and I can't remember his name at the moment. Last name Campbell. I don't know, whatever his name is. But he was on that shoot. Well, now I'm just gonna fail because I can't remember the name of the show. Oh, that
I see John Hamm. Oh, he's the voice of Richard Wayne, Gary Wayne. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah. IMDb, the more you know. I should have Googled
well,
it
now I have
beforehand.
to. If we're all on IMDb,
Wow. I'm learning so much that I thought I
Oh.
already knew everything.
it's
but-
Adam Campbell who was on. Shoot.
Uh-oh.
Shoot.
We gotta
I'm getting it.
reference the
I'm getting it.
Googles.
Everybody, wait! I'm getting it. He was in the Date movie. He
The
was
Date
in.
movie.
He was just on the. Shoot.
Are you talking about actor Adam Campbell from
Yes.
Epic Movie?
Yes.
He has the same birthday as me and he's British.
Well, yes.
I've never seen
I
this
didn't know
man
the
before.
birthday thing, but I knew he was British. He was just on another up on. No. Okay, it's still not the show I'm thinking
Date
of, and I
movie.
can't find it. So I give up.
He does parody movies. That's what you're getting at.
No, there was another one, but now I can't find it, and I just give up. But
Oh,
I love
boy.
him, and I think he's really funny and super attractive, and I think that's going to be her love interest. You can't tell me, but it is, isn't it? So.
Yeah,
I like
my
the
lips
idea-
are sealed. I won't ruin anything.
The 5-year engagement, is that what you're talking about?
No.
He's in that too.
It was just a show.
It's the most recent one.
Stupid.
The
I lied.
landlord,
He's on
the
NCIS.
lady that plays their landlord.
Okay.
I
It's
recognize
mixology
she's
is what I'm thinking
in
of.
so many different things, but Princess Bride, any of you a fan?
Yes.
Where she's like, Humperdinck.
Yes.
Humperdinck, Humperdinck, Humperdinck.
I haven't seen The Princess Bride since
What?
I was very
Oh,
young.
Classic.
thought you
I've
meant
seen
ever.
it, but I do not
I was
remember
gonna
it, and
say,
I
that
feel
would
like
be
an
bad.
a-hole that I can't reference it. But I know that she was in it. So now that I've seen how funny Carol Kane is on this show, I'm gonna rewatch the movie.
Yeah, when I saw her, I was just like, yes, Princess Bride. Like, I mean, it was so long ago when they filmed
Right.
that, and I immediately recognized her from that because I loved that movie growing up.
She's got
Comedy.
great one-liners. Like, well, they all do. What am I saying? But when she comes back from the club, when Kimmy comes back from the club, Lillian sees her and goes, "One night stand too? Me too. Just sat down." Like, just feels wrong, you know.
So
How
great.
weird that your landlord is like high-fiving you for stumbling home late at night.
Right. And I feel like that lady has just stopped aging. Like she has
She looks the same.
She looks the exact same. Like from the Princess Bride.
That's what
like
I was saying.
don't-
Like, immediately I was like, Princess Bride. And I'm
Wow.
like, it's been like, what, 20 years
Yeah.
or something? Same
then
hair,
she's-
same face.
definitely not lost her wit. Like
Wow.
looks the exact same, seems the exact same, seems just as much aware as she was then. And it's awesome.
So Kimmy gets fired from her job, obviously, because she lost her money, and she was trying to find it. She didn't make it to work on time. Didn't bake that paleo birthday cake for Buckley. Somehow she had 3 strikes. She didn't even know she had 2. So she got fired, walks home. Titus finds out that she's actually in a cult and is like, okay, go back to Indiana. And she's like, I'm on my way. You're right. This is the worst. And then of all the things to inspire her, it's a rat in a garbage.
I know. But I thought was so funny because at the beginning of the episode when she gets out of the car and the one girl is like, "We're garbage," and she turns around and does the funniest inflection. She's like, "We're not garbage." And so then for her to see that rat, it just made me laugh anyways because it went back to that. I loved it. That was great. This is what I'm getting at.
I like that she was a feisty cult woman and calls out her cult leader for
Right.
lying about the apocalypse and saying, I thought you said all the living things were dead, then what is this rat doing in the air filter? So, seems like she was the smarty of the group.
Yes.
Sadly.
Yeah. Yeah, because she's like as smart as like a 12-year-old. She has a middle school education. And I'm not saying that's dumb, but In New York, you need a little more than that.
Well, and having the energy of someone that age alone is really extreme, but she's also been pent up in this like cage basically for years, so she's like running all over being crazy. Of course she's losing her Jansport backpack, the club.
Can you blame her? She's got a lot going on.
She doesn't know not to bring a backpack to the club with $13,000.
You live and you learn.
Common sense isn't so common.
Nope.
It's true.
Not with Kimmy. So she decides to stay, and she finds Titus doing his robot thing on Times Square, convinces him that he can eventually get into the Lion King, and they're going to do it together, and the show ends with them holding hands singing The Circle of Life. I loved it.
I loved it too. And her just like singing outwardly, it was like a musical star, just like, okay, I won't do impressions, I'm going to stop now, but it cracked me up.
Before we started the show, I was talking about how Ellie Kemper reminds me of that girl in high school. I mean, I went to an arts high school, so it's a little false sense of reality, but like the musical theater girl that's super excited and, hey guys, want to hear me sing?
Yeah.
I'm here to perform. And like, I think that's like such a good part for her to play this, because she reminds me of like that kind of person in general, just over the top, but it's good because she's playing basically a little kid.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a pretty big Ellie Kemper fan, but I've noticed, and I was telling you girls a little bit about this before we started our after show, that people, this is a very broad generalization of the maybe 10 people I've talked to about this, but the people that are really big fans of the show happen to be big fans of the show because they are either super big Tina Fey fans or super big Ellie Kemper fans. And then the people that aren't crazy about the show aren't as crazy about Ellie Kemper and don't find her as funny or as adorable as I'm obsessively finding with her. So I think it's a great show, but it's definitely it's got its own flavor, and it's similar to 30 Rock. So if that show wasn't your cup of tea, if The Office wasn't your cup of tea, probably not gonna like the show. But those shows were hit shows, so I have a feeling this is gonna crush.
Absolutely.
It seems like there's already season 2 filming in the works, which is super exciting. But I'm only into the pilot, so I should probably watch a little more before I start thinking about another season. Before we wrap this up, should we make predictions?
You can't make any.
I mean, oh, yeah.
But
You're
I'm here
out.
as a guest host. You guys go
All
ahead.
right.
I don't want to ruin anything.
Yeah, let's do it.
And
Listen to that. Spooky.
your AfterBuzz
All right, Hannah,
predictions.
what are your predictions?
I only predict about that love interest, dude. Because I don't know what to predict with, like, comedies sometimes, because it's just, it's more so, like, the funny joke after funny joke rather than, like, an actual plot line that I'm interested in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, so the only thing I'll predict is that Adam Campbell, whatever his character's name is on the show, I don't know, that will be her love interest, and he'll help guide her in the new world through New York City in that crazy jungle.
I don't know what to predict because I feel like because this is such a silly concept, they've created their own bizarre world that literally anything can happen.
Exactly.
I'm going to predict that she gets her job back with Jacqueline.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Because otherwise, why would she be introduced in the pilot? Well, that's my stellar prediction. Do you want to even make some predictions?
Well,
Just don't give anything
Jacqueline is
away.
just fabulous.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they can't take her off.
Right.
You know, she's like, in my opinion, like holding the show. But I haven't honestly been the biggest Ellie Kemper fan. And I think, and for those of you at home that aren't the biggest fan of hers as well, this show, I predict, will make you become a bigger fan. I think she's going to grow on me more and more. And of course, that's because I love Tina. Her writing's amazing. She's got some good lines. But I think seeing her acting, and it's cool seeing her in a lead role for once as well.
Right. She's been a great supporting character in a lot of stuff, but I was going to say this is her time to shine as a leading lady.
She's got the spotlight on.
I also just really quickly wanted to say something about the reference to the Amelia Bedelia
Oh,
at the
yeah.
very end. Because did anybody else love those Amelia Bedelia books growing up?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. That's all I
Amelia
had to say.
Bedelia was crazy.
Little
I
shout
just
out.
remember there was like one book where she was like sweeping the sidewalk or the street in traffic. I don't know
Right?
why. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Amelia Bedelia was nuts.
And to like draw the drapes, and she actually like drew the drapes or something. I don't know. I loved Amelia Bedelia.
Poor Amelia. Poor Kimmy Schmidt, actually. It's been a rough first day in New York for her. But I'm so excited to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
So this should be a fun show to continue recapping. Where can everybody at home find you on social media, Hannah?
You all can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @thehotshotdude.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Danica Kennedy.
Follow me on Twitter at the Kylie Hodges and on Instagram just at Kylie Hodges. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are very excited to meet you here again next week to recap episode 2 of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Thanks for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.